Hello everybody, welcome back. So today is a tutorial. We're going to talk about roofs. Now a lot of people, the only issue is that they lack confidence, and I'm here to tell you that really it's not that hard. There's just like a couple concepts to grasp, and then once you get that, you can basically freestyle whatever roof type that you want. I will admit, like these are all the same size, so the Japanese kind of oriental style roof is quite hard to do on like smaller builds, just because there's so much detail that has to go into them. It's hard to do when you're limited on space. So that's just a little bit of a disclaimer for you, but I'm just going to go over some concepts today, and then if there's other roof types that you want me to go over, leave a comment down below. Alright, so let's get started. Alrighty, so we're back in regular Minecraft mode here without the shaders, just so that I don't kill my computer. I actually built next to a village here just to kind of like show you guys, I guess, the faults of these types of roofs. It's not that they're bad or anything, it's just that they could be a little bit more pretty. And actually, the Minecraft village roofs used to be a lot more ugly, so we've made some progress. However, these are still quite simple. I just wanted to explain precisely why. So as you can see, these are quite linear, and they only go up by 1 scale. So you see 1 over, 1 up, 1 over, 1 up, 1 over, 1 up. And that is not exactly the case in real life, which is what I'm going to show you now. So before I get too into it, I just want to kind of explain like an interesting little fact here. So different types of roofs around the world are built actually on purpose. So for example, like Viking style roofs, they had a lot of snow, so that's why they're so steep, is so that the snow can actually fall off. However, if you go to like hotter climates, like let's say like Arizona in America, they don't have to deal with snow, so a lot of their roofs are adobe style, and they have very flat type roofs because they only ever have to deal with rain, really. And snow is a lot heavier than rain. So these more like unique types of roofs actually work more like a exponential curve, you could say. So for example, it goes 1 over, 2 up, 1 over, 3 up, 1 over, 2 up, and then 1 over, and like none up. And I just put this little thing on top for decoration. And then this roof, for example, it's just that, but basically the opposite. So it goes up, what is that, 3, up 2, up 1 block, and then up half blocks up to the top there. And then the kind of Japanese style, I guess oriental roofs or whatever, I don't know what to call them. Anyways, they kind of like combine that on 2 planes here. So it's kind of working up like this rather than on a side. I'll explain it in more depth later on in the video, but for now let's just get started on the Viking type builds. Alright, so I just built a little quick building here just to kind of like have something to put the roof on. If you guys are playing in survival mode, I would maybe recommend just starting out on the ground when you're working out a design, just so that you don't take fall damage. What I'm gonna do right now is a Viking style build. So they're steeper, so I'm going to start off with 1 block right away, and then go up 2, and then maybe go up 3 as my steepest point here. And you could continue going up just by 3, you don't have to go up by 4, just because it gets a little bit ridiculous when you're working with the bigger numbers. And then you just go across, and then we'll do the same on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then just 1 here. So imagine that, if you will, on top of that building. So let's go do it. Alright, so I've put the same kind of pattern on this building. It was actually 7 in the middle here compared to 5 in the middle here, so I had to do another step up. It's a little bit steeper. Maybe if you were doing this big of a roof, I would actually recommend going longer this way, just so that it doesn't look so extreme. Or you could do smaller steps here, so just like going up by 1 or 2 each time instead of 3 at my maximum there. So I'm actually gonna just copy this over another step, just so that it's sticking out a bit from the building. And I'm gonna take away these ones here, just because I'm gonna put wood there instead. So I'm just gonna fill these in quick, and I'll be right back. Hopefully this is self-explanatory enough. Alright, so I filled in all the way to the back now. I'm just going to do a little bit more detailing, so I'm going to fill in here. I think it'd look pretty good still with just some brick, and then maybe separate the roof from the building with a log. So I'll just go here quick, and then like that, and then also just pop a little window in here. Let's put some of that in there. Whoop. And then we'll go do the same on the other side. Alright, so there we have the basics of it done. A lot of Viking buildings also have little ornament pieces on the top here, so I'm going to go add one of those quickly. Maybe just stick it out an extra one here, and then flip this one up like that. Yeah, that looks good. Go another extra block. Whoop. And come around here. And then what I have liked to do is make it look like it's being supported by yet another log. So I do that. So the downfall of this is that this was kind of a tiny building, so it looks really weird. If you're going to do that steep of a slope, I would recommend maybe a bigger building in hindsight now. But yeah, so that's the basics of the Viking roof. Obviously you can go in and do a little bit more detailing. I know some people that like to break the odd block here just to make it look aged a bit. That's totally up to you. It's your own stylistic stuff. And then another thing that I also do is I put little gable pieces at the top, just because I think they look really interesting. Go like that. It just kind of pulls it all together, and maybe I put like a window down here. Down here needs something. It's kind of boring, but we're talking about roofs today, so I digress. Alrighty, so this next kind of barn style one, I guess, is actually pretty similar to the Viking one. It's just the inverse of that when you're thinking of the exponential curve. So let's just start with, for example, 1, 2, 3 here, and then put a stair on top of that, and then go to 2, stair on top of that, and then just go to 1, stair, and then we'll go up by half steps. So a slab, and then just a stair or a block, and then let's do one more there, and then just work our way back down. So as you can see, the change between here is really dramatic. It flattens out quite a bit, and it stays mostly flat for a little bit longer, I guess. I'm sorry if this isn't making sense. So maybe just follow along, and then you'll get the hang of it. Where am I at here? Yeah, that's right. Hold on. Okay, and then okay, let's look at that. Does that look right? Yeah, there you go. But yeah, and then that's just the same rules as this now, where you just carry it forward and then put another end on it if you want. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to go on to the little oriental style, just because it's going to take a little bit more explaining. Alrighty, so now on to the most difficult, the Japanese style roof here. An important thing to note that I see a lot of mistakes on is people build this up too high, and it actually does not go very high at all. It actually stays level with around the middle of the roof here. However, this flips up a lot. So it's not so much pointy as it is kind of folded up, you could say. So these generally go out about 2 2 blocks away from the actual building. So I'm just gonna wrap this around real quick. Okay, and then just like all my other roofs, I'm doing the stone on the outside here. So here, just a second. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so basically what we're doing here is we're going 1 the highest, and then 2 below that, and then 3, or whatever it takes to get down to your main slab here. So we're just going to do that on all the corners here, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so now I got the same thing going on all the corners here. So now I'm just going to start filling up the middle. For the most part, like the steps up for these are generally just like the half steps, especially near the edges. So we're just going to do that. And then I'll also note just that we're keeping this level with the point there. So we'll keep building this up, and then basically once we get to that block in the middle, then we'll start increasing the curve, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so now we're on the last little ring in the middle here that is actually level with the point on the outside. So I'm just completing this, and then I'm gonna build up all these so that it's level. So now that it's like this, now we can start increasing the curve. Yeah, so I'm gonna go up like that. Because instead of going up by a half step, we're going up by a full block now. And honestly, we, in this instance, on this build right now, we don't want the roof to get too steep. So I'm actually just going to do 1 block increases for the rest of this. It's just something that you just like kind of eye out yourself. Just basically whatever doesn't look right, maybe just make it less steep is all. Alright, so that's basically it for the main structure. Pretty simple, pretty easy. However, a lot of people do go in, just do a little bit of detailing by adding some extra planks here, just to make it look a little bit more, or add a little bit more texture, I guess you could say. And then sometimes I just add an extra one on these corners here. Alright, so that's it for the roof. However, there always seems to be these gate things. As you can see, I always put them on there. So we'll just go in and put them there. It's kind of like a ornamental thing. You don't have to do it, but it definitely adds to the build for sure. And then obviously these can't go on the corners, so you just have to come in and put fences in to connect them if you'd like. Ooh. Okay, right there and right there. Now in this instance, it looks okay, but we can just click that out and then connect it to the top there, and it just makes it look a little bit better there. But that is pretty much where I would leave it. And then obviously you'd make the rest of the building, but this is just to show you the roof. So yeah, if you guys would like some tutorials on other types of roofs, I will definitely put out some more. This might just be like the first part of a many part series. So if you like this video, please like it, share it with your friends, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.